Good morning, traders. This is Chris from Elite Currency with an update again on the euro dollar and pound dollar. Let's take a first look at the euro dollar. So price making a retracement, first hitting our resistance zone here around 116.75, and that was the first target we had in mind when discussing this potential bullish retracement, which is indeed taking place. Price made only a small pause there, but then basically breaking above the 20 EMA and making its second, or reaching its second target and making its way up to 117.50, the previous bottoms, and the long-term moving averages was acting now as a resistance spot. But considering the current bullish momentum, I think that price might go even further than that at this point. But we have reached our first two targets with this bullish retracement. All right, the 116.75 and the 117.50 zone have been reached. As you can see, the moving averages acting as a good spot for indicating breakout and targets as well, and understanding the market structure here. So let's take a look and zoom out a little bit to the daily chart. Now, one thing we shouldn't forget is the bearish weekly candle. We already discussed on Monday that we could get probably a retracement of this weekly candle, but that at some point we'll find resistance. So let's now dive into the daily chart here and put the fib on the swing down. And if it's not the 38.2 fib, which is a heavy level, then I suspect that the next target could be the 15 to 61.8 fib. If we get a breakout here, then 118.10, 118.60 could be the next target zone and also the next bouncing spot. And that's where I think it's a little bit more serious resistance could emerge to push this lower again to retest the previous bottom, by the way. Now let's zoom into that 1 hour chart. Actually, I want to show you the 1 hour chart indeed. So this is what momentum looks like. This is a good momentum here. We had fractal sailing above the 20 MA, good angle of the 20 MA. And this is when even reversal trades and retracement trades make sense, when you get good momentum like that on a lower time frame. And you see that good push up here into that zone. Beautiful push there. Now we have momentum on our side. Clearly the diamonds here indicating that, the fractals indicating that. But the question is, will we get that breakout and continuation, or we get some flag pattern, or we get a retracement, or even a reversal? So for me, the distinction here is the long-term moving averages. I think that they should hold. So let me check, this should be 144 EMA, yes. So if we have a fractal anywhere around 116.75 up to 117, that's a key level. So if that fractal does not get broken, so let's say price makes a retracement, bounce, retests, but bounces and breaks this fractal, that looks like a continuation to the upside. Whereas if it breaks this fractal here, the fractal in this zone, below that fractal, then it looks like we're getting the upside is over and we get a bigger downtrend continuation. That is key for me. So this might retest the previous support. We will probably see a bounce, but the key is the fractal after the bounce and at the 144. Which one will break for that upside or for that downside? That is very important, at least for me, in my view, in my eyes. If it doesn't get into this zone, if it doesn't retrace that deep, but makes a bull flag pattern instead, and just hits like maybe a WIS 3 level like that, so goes like this, or some triangle pattern, also possible, or just go sideways, then it is likely to break to the upside. Okay, now I don't expect the bull flag, considering the time of day. It's just at the start of London. I don't think it'll go silent necessarily, although it could. You have days like that are just flat and quiet. It is possible, by the way. So if it does make a bull flag pattern, then I would be looking for a break to the upside. On a hourly chart, it looks key. Obviously, these tops look key. So if it breaks through that, we should be seeing a breakout continuation. Let's take a look at the fib here. And we will probably see a push up to 118.20 indeed. Let's put the fib from here to here. Bit smaller swing, 118. So we should see, if it breaks above 117.60, that push up for about 60 pips, I suspect. So let's see if we get that. Price needs to break here. If it doesn't, it might make that bull flag, or it might make that deeper retracement here, but that looks like a bouncing spot. Let's go and get back to the 4 hour chart. You can see also why this could be a bouncing spot, because of the 21 EMA that now is acting as support or potential support. So it could easily make a bounce here at the long-term moving average, but then bounce back at the 21 EMA up and retest the long-term moving average, and this time break to the 50 fib and maybe even the 61.8 fib like that. So that's what I was suspecting. If there's a fractal at the 21 EMA here like this, and it breaks through that fractal, that's when I would consider the downtrend back in play. That's about it, I think, for the moment. One more thing we could add is a resistance trend line like that adds confidence to the 50 fib as a heavy level and as a target zone at 118.10, by the way. So that's roughly in that zone we talked about, 118.20, 118.10. Okay, let's move on to the pound USD, I guess. So we got the break here to the upside. I said that if it breaks this fractal, no, it was actually already breaking that fractal on Monday when I was talking in the video. But anyhow, a push up did continue. It did move higher from the level we talked about, and I was waiting for a pattern before trading it, the continuation basically. So we are getting that pattern right now actually. So I think it looks bullish to me. It looks like a momentum up. And we haven't reached the main targets in my view yet. So I think there should be space for upside. I think that price is retesting the 21A support zone. I think it's retesting, which is now bullish. I think it's retesting the previous bottom, which could be maybe an inverted reversal chart pattern there, head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. And the previous top that now could become support. So I think this 127.50, 128 zone is looking like support. And could be used for a bounce to the 38.2 fib at 129.80/130, which of course 130 is that round level. So that seems likely to me. Let's take a look at that hourly chart. This looks like a bull flag pattern to me. And if we draw a channel like this, it's certainly acting like that. Momentum and correction. So one thing could be to, in my view, I'm going to be looking for a bounce here in this zone for upside. So any bullish candlestick patterns, even on an hourly chart, certainly on a 4-hour chart, could be interesting to look for upside trades. Or a break, let's see, maybe about this level here. But that break could be a bit risky because of a false break. You never know. It could be false retracement in an upside. Maybe more conservative way could be to look for fractal up in here, look for a pullback into the 20-way. The 20-way will flip back up. Price should, in that case, use it as a support zone. And then either I would be looking to trade the bounce or the break of this fractal. That could be a little bit more conservative way of approaching this bull flag break pattern. Break of the bull flag pattern, sorry. So, yeah, break of the bull flag or the bounce in the support zone. Either could be interesting. This does not look bearish to me. Overall, it looks bearish, of course, but not at the moment. I think it has to retrace higher in my view, unless it really shows a fractal in this zone and then starts to break through that support of that fractal. Then we might be looking at a breakout below 127.70. If it breaks that fractal, that's really the only way I can see the downside. Otherwise, prices, I think this is too strong of a support zone with these long-term moving averages on the daily chart. And some retracement, I think, is too likely considering the fall. Some kind of bounce here, a little bit bigger bounce, I think, is likely. 1 hour chart, nothing to add. I think that key is any fractal at the 4 hour, below the 4 hour 20 EMA zone, and a break below that would signal a downtrend, just like with the euro dollar. Otherwise, I think it's in bullish territory and there's a better chance of a bullish bounce up towards the targets. That's my 2 cents and view at the moment. In any case, of course, let's see. Update next week, Monday. And if you're interested in more info, feel free to check out our website. You can also get some nice sponsorships by some of our trusted brokers, by the way. Just go to providers and click on sponsorships. And you could get access to my SWAT course if you like my videos. Maybe you'll like my SWAT course as well. But there's a lot of free info as well, blog, education, webinars. And of course, some of the EAs are free as well. Some of the automated trading systems are with no upfront costs, let me say it this way, and work with a profit share model. So things to consider. In any case, wish you all great trading and see you soon. Cheers.